Good evening, Sante Savvy here. Tonight I'm going to be doing this blue seashell. I thought, well, I'm doing it for my niece's bedroom. I'm going to be doing two paintings of seashells, and so I thought I'd make a video. I'm going to start off by kind of making my points. I want the top here, bottom could be down here. It'll be about this big. It's very tiny dots, you probably can't even see it. So I'm going to start by just making a wave like this. Okay. And then, can you see that line? Yeah, you can see it. I think I actually made it too high. And then this has a loop. Then you make it come up this way and this way, about the same height, length. And then make your funny crown. Okay. Now, here I will make that again. Come out here. You make your funny crown. Do it again. Kind of like an ice cream cone. Funny crown. It's getting shorter and shorter. So I'll do it again. Here will be smaller. Smaller. And then a very small. And now here, just kind of like an old person, shake. Make like a big, and it's not going to be perfect. Like shaking. You know how you can shake? Okay, I don't like this part right here so much. But I will bring it something like that. If I want, I can adjust it later. So I've got my seashell shape. She definitely does sell. She sells seashells by the seashore. I saw her. So you take. I'm using my gigantic water brush tonight just because I don't know, it's fun, and I haven't used a water brush in a long time. So I'm gonna just wet the whole inside. I mean, this brush is definitely probably overkill, but it's fun. I think this brush cost me like $20 or something. Super expensive. Maybe it was more. I don't remember. No, is the price on there? Nope. I think Jonathan bought it for me. My husband bought it for me like a few years ago. And yeah. So wet the whole inside without going out of lines. Wet there. Wet the paper. I have discovered that I do not like this paper, because I feel like it does not, I don't know, man. It's not very porous. I don't find it. Look at these little stranded hairs. I don't like that. My kids got to it and destroyed it. I find it doesn't blend as nicely. Like when you try, all different kinds of watercolor papers, you'll see a difference in the feeling and how the water spreads and how the paint spreads, and it makes a big difference. And then when you go back to like cheaper papers, it's kind of like, yuki, I miss the old paper. Okay, so I got this good and wet, this thingy. Don't really want any outside there. Okay. Not sure how well you can see the angle on here, but here, wet. There. Now I'm going to use, I had some old blue in my palette here, so I'm just going to use that because I think it looks already like a very pretty blue that I want. I think there's Prussian blue, there's Cerulean blue. Just mix it with the pretty blue that you like. Then go right up into the corner. We're gonna let the water work here, so oops. We're doing this paintbrush in layers. Ogres are like layers. Watercolor is like layers. I'm gonna go all the way here. Not sure, I don't know, it's just kind of fun to paint with this brush. Alright, I paused my video and cut off those stranded hairs because they were ruining my vibe. Alright, so in this painting there's also some green. So I'm going to go into this lime green color. You can, if not, you can get green and yellow and mix and make a nice light green. And put some in there on this side. It's almost too green, so I'm going to bring it down here, spread it. Right up to the edge. Okay. It's not a huge deal if it goes over this line, I suppose, because once we'll be doing this one, it'll be a lot darker. So I want to get some dark blue. So I'm going to get some Prussian blue. Mix it in there. It's just a mixture of, I think, green and blue actually. But I just basically want a dark blue color. And I'm going to go on this edge. I'm wobbly tonight. Dabbing it in there. The bigger the paintbrush, the more water and paint it holds. So you shouldn't have to dab it into your cup as often. I'm going all the way this edge, okay? Dark. And then I'm going to hold it down. Pick up your paper and put it on this angle. Wash my brush a little bit. And just gently touch it. I want to spread it down. Okay, I want some more dark up here. The paint follows the water. So then I'm gonna let it flow. If there's a humongous drip down here, I'm gonna pick that up so that it's not dripping. It's not too heavy and gonna pass my line here. I don't want it to drip too much. See, it's very heavy. So I'm just gonna keep this here so it's not gonna, because if it's really, really heavy, it'll just make a line down my page. I don't want that. Okay, it's pretty for now. We'll just leave that for now. I'm actually gonna dry it with my hand dryer here. All right, it's completely dry. I dried it with my what is it called again? Embossing thing. So it's like a heat gun instead of a blow dryer. It's just heat instead of like hot air. Does that make sense? Okay, so this thing here, I'm gonna work on this part. So I'm gonna wet. This is completely dry because if it wasn't dry, then it would spread into it. So I'm gonna make very gently. Don't go over the other side. Very carefully, wet, just water. This whole side here. Very gentle. Okay, and then, oh boy, heat under my paper. Now I'm going to go in here and get all of these little itty bitty lines as best as you can into the where it's wobbly, wibbly, wobbly. I think I like making these videos because I like talking myself. Who knows? Okay, gently. Gently. I love painting. It's just a real nice escape. Escape from the world that's going corrupt. All right, now I'm gonna water the whole inside here. Okay, it's all wet. Make sure it's wet in here again because it may have dried a little bit. I can see it's very shiny. Okay, now I'm going to get some John. This is the yellow ochre. I'm going to get some yellow ochre, wash it off a bit here so it's not too dark. It's a bit of water. Okay. Now I'm going to pull some lines from some of these. You'll see that it'll blend with the other colors later. So a couple of these, I don't know, just spread them around. Some yellow. Maybe I'll do the whole yellow. Okay, pick that up, pull it this way if you want. All right, and I'm gonna get some of that lime green color from earlier. I'm gonna also put some of that in here. Just random, you know, just get some color. Okay, you can lift it, mix the colors. Now, I'm gonna get that same blue from earlier, Prussian blue. This one over here, Prussian blue. Nice and dark. Very gently do your line. I'm looking close at it because I really don't want to go over that line. I'm gonna wipe this off. There's like eraser bits. I'm just like dabbing it and it's just staying on there. So I'm gonna want this very dark. I'm gonna go get more. I'm gonna go right into the blue. And I'm gonna, this whole edge here needs to be very dark. Okay, I'm gonna lift it that way. Putting my brush in some water here. I'm gonna spread it a bit. Lift it. I can try my brush a bit. And okay. I'm gonna wash my brush. And this one's so huge that I have to like squeeze water out and then I'm going to push away from the edge here. That blue a bit. Oop, I've gotten to here. Not that. I think. And then I'm going to make a pointy with my napkin. And make lines. Okay. I'm going to fold it so it's not touching that one. Make pointy. See? Pointy, pointy. Try to. Now it's very dirty, so I'm gonna make another pointy spot. Honestly, I'm making this all up as I go. I've never really done this before, so it's just something that happens. So I'm making lines, make it pointy. There. And pretty lines like that. I think that's beautiful. I think it's a beauty. She's a beaut, Clark. All right, so it's kind of like little sun rays. Here, comme ci et comme ça. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry on its own because I can. Because I don't need to. I'll add more into there after, but I don't need to paint. Now I'm painting over here and it's not going to touch that, so I don't need to dry it right now. All right, so I'm going to water my brush and I will go into this section. Okay, very gently go and up against that line without going over top of it. Here. Okay, I see right here an eraser line that I don't want to see into my paint. Here. Now I'm going to water. I didn't wash my brush very well. As you can see, it's blue. And that's okay. Because it's going to be blue anyway. Okay. Now I'm going to put some of that yellow ochre into the tips. That's a lot of yellow ochre. Wipe it off and then spread it around. From over here, take some. Wipe some from over here. There. Good enough. Now I'm going to get some of that blue, dark blue again. This Prussian blue. And I'm going to go right up to the edge. When you dab it, it's like it releases the paint. Make your line and then dab. Okay, now I sense that there's going to be a lot of paint there. And I lift it. I'm going to lift it. This. Okay. Lift it this way very slowly. Don't want to lift it too fast, or else it might just make a streak all the way down your painting, which is what we don't want. So I'm just going to play around here, decide what I want it to look like. See what it's doing? Pretty. So I'm going to let that one dry by itself also. And I'm going to move on to the third one here so that I'm not making the water seep into the middle one. So do like we were doing before. Get this one wet, watered. Okay, let's do the same thing. Get some yellow ochre, get some on the tip, like that. And then get some of your dark blue. Go right up into the edge here. There. Lift it. Pick it up. I'm going to wash my brush a bit because well, I think I actually kind of like what it's doing. Maybe here a little. Oh, I added too much. Huge drip of water. Let me just pick some of that up. There. Right. I think that looks pretty. Now let's do the same with this guy up here. There. Now, dab my brush to dry it. Get some of that Prussian blue. All you need is a dot. and wash the brush. I already had the blue, so I'm going to do the yellow now on the tip. And then lift it. There. Okie doke. Now this one's dry by now. I'm going to let those dry. This one has a lot of water in it. There. Let those dry. And I'm going to get some more of that Prussian blue. Here. Blue. Hopefully it's not too much water. I'm going to get some water out by squeezing this part here. Oh, oops. This part. I want to make my line again. Make sure it's very, oop, went into that one. Make sure it's very clean. Clean line. Okay, now I don't want it to be super dark all the way there because I guess it's darker down there. So I'm gonna wash my brush. Okay. And I'm gonna gently pull this so that it's like blending it. There. Get some of that dark blue. There. That's the thing with this Gigumbo brush. Wipe it off and then you can kind of spread it nicer. Let's see what that looks like. Nope, I want it darker. Right here. Just kind of pick it up and look at it and you think, does this look like dark enough to you? All right. My dog's making gross looking noises. Apologize. I cannot stand that. Wipe my brush off and now I'm just kind of blending it in. Looks all right. Okay, now I want to also make this back corner. I'll show you as well. This, I want to make it darker again to make it look like it's farther. Oops, my brush is too big, it's hitting my easel. My Vin Diesel. Alright, like that. See comme ça. A bit more down here. It's not like this so much on the screen, on the real picture. I'm just making my own. There. That's good. Down here, I'm going to blend that little line in. Made kind of like a funny line when it dried. I'm not a huge fan of that specific line in that specific spots. So wipe that off. Okay. There. Lift that, let that go. Yeah, what am I doing here? I don't know why. I'm just pulling it down. That's nice. Here I'm going to blend it better. Wipe it off. Blend it. Okay. Now I'm going to blow dry these. I just took my paintbrush and kind of, while I was blow drying it, and made like these kind of random lines everywhere on it. So I realized it was way too soft looking, and I don't know, I kind of wanted to look rougher. So I'm just really like very gently touching it. Then I'm gonna go keep blow drying it. All right, that's dry. Now I'm going to turn this around because I got these 2 more to go. Now I'm going to wash my brush with the water. Let that water out because I got so much water in the brush. Now that that's completely dry, I'm going to water these 2 and do the same thing basically that we did to all the other ones. Okay, turn it. You really got to see your light. The light's got to be shining on it so that you can see where the shininess is, so you know where it's wet. Okay. I got my head on an angle because if I put my head on top, I can't see where it's shiny. Okay, now go into the Prussian blue, that dark blue again, and just make it nice and clean. Oh, going into the other one. Wipe it away. Finger. Okay. There. Well, I'm going to wash my brush because I want to go get some of that yellow. Whoa, huge drip on the end of that. I almost ruined my... Okay, I'm adding some yellow in here. Just bullseye. Okay, now, this edge corner here. There. Now, let's play around with that. Maybe it has too much water, but... Right, I like how it's making those lines. It's kind of cool. I'll do the same thing here. Put this in place. A little touch of yellow, the tips, and then go right into the Prussian blue. Clean. There. Now move that around. Over here, I'm going to go with the Prussian blue and make it darker. It's not touching that one, so I can do this. Okay, wipe it off. And then I'll slowly wipe it here so it's blending. Wipe it off again so it's dry-ish. Okay, I'm not going too low because I don't want it to touch into there. All right, I need another paper towel. It's been soaked. There's another one. Wipe, squeeze it off. I'm going to squeeze it. This is a huge brush. Okay, now I'm going to gently, I don't want it to dry lines. I'm not going into that one up there. I'm just smoothing out this water line that I made. All right. Okay, this looks pretty cool. I'm going to dry it with my heater again. All right, that's what that one looks like. I find it dried a little funny here. Just going to kind of do circles and blend that. Blend it a little better. Neat. And that looks pretty snazzy if you ask me. My line a little, oops, sorry about that. Double whammy. I'm going to clean this little spot up here a bit. Could use my smaller brush to clean it, but no, apparently. All right. Oh, I've got to stop hitting that thing. I think I'm happy with this, you know? And I'm going to take a smaller brush, you know, just to do my signature. Look at this cute little guy. Water dip. And I'm going to go into the Prussian blue. Make sure it's nice and pointy. No. And then I actually don't want it that dark, but I'm going to go V. Look at this. It's not pointy anymore. It's all funny everywhere. I'm not using this brush. I just refuse to. Oh. Alright, I'm going to use my nice new one that I just bought. See? Oh my goodness. There. That's this, that, and there, and done. Good night. Toodaloo.